We begin tonight with an outpouring of emotion in Phoenix, where hundreds of people came together to honor the life of Marcus Freiberger. The 45-year-old yoga teacher's body was found last month, and as Phoenix police continue to investigate what happened, loved ones are ensuring he is never forgotten. Good evening, and thanks so much for joining us. For 12 News at 10, I'm Kariva Devine.
And I'm Troy Hayden. Mark has the night off tonight. The people gathering tonight, we're looking at exactly what happened. There are still so many unanswered questions about that. 12 News journalist Bianca Bono live outside the Royale Kitchen and Cocktails. And what they have to say tonight, Bianca?
Yeah, hundreds of people from so many different backgrounds and communities all came together tonight to share their memories of Marcus Freiberger. The large and diverse turnout, a testament to his character.
Even when life got heavy, he somehow managed to be this glowing, positive force.
On Wednesday night in Phoenix's Melrose District, hundreds of people gathered in their grief.
We love Marcus for who he is, for his authentic self.
The man seen smiling in these photos is Marcus Freiberger, and everyone packed onto the patio of the Royale Kitchen and Cocktails was impacted by him.
He honestly is just larger than life, and he's still with us.
From his friends,
he was and is the brightest shining light that I've ever known.
To his yoga family.
Marcus, his heart was so big.
And his parents.
I appreciate all of you guys.
Emotional moments as they shared how special it was to see that their son was so loved.
It's obvious that you all knew what Marcus was like and that you loved him for who he was. We loved him for who he was.
Freiberger was just 45 years old when he went missing in February. Tragically, in March, his body was found at a rock quarry near 15th Avenue and Broadway.
We just live in a community that requires us to look out for each other.
Questions about what happened to him still need answers. And as Phoenix police work to find those answers, many here are urging this community to stay vigilant.
We can do simple things like sharing your location with 5 or 6 of your closest friends. Always meet in a public space. Put an Apple AirTag in your vehicle.
As the investigation into Freiberger's death continues, this celebration of his life has brought loved ones some peace.
It's very important to understand what happened, but at the same time, seeing this gives me closure and understanding that he's not going to go forgotten.
And I did reach out to the Phoenix Police Department today asking for an update on this case. They said they are still working with the Maricopa County Medical Examiner's Office on this investigation. We're live in Phoenix tonight. Bianca Bono, 12 News.
All right. Bianca, thank you. Happening right now, DPS is investigating a crash on the I-10 involving one of their troopers. Officials say that the crash happened on the I-10 near Verrado Way and involved a DPS vehicle and a car hauler. We're told that there are injuries, but they're described as non-life-threatening. Officials say that I-10 is still open as they investigate the crash.
Pretty busy weather day across Arizona. If you walked outside, maybe you saw some of this, especially in the West Valley. Rain coming down, big rain cells moving through. And how about some snow up in the high country? Look at this, big flakes swirling around. Brenda Hoff sent us this video from Prescott Valley. Now it's about 3 this afternoon, so Chris Dunn is here with a look at your forecast, meteorologist for us. Yeah, a little bit of a little something for everybody today, Chris.
Yeah, and some spot showers moving through the valley, and the same trend is spilling over into this evening. We still have some activity going on. Here's the loop of the last couple of hours on the Doppler radar. Little spots, isolated little pockets of rain, one moving through the downtown area right on top of Sky Harbor Airport right now. So far, we haven't had anything official hit the rain gauge at the airport. And then a little bit heavier rain crossing through Scottsdale, just right now crossing the Loop 101 towards the McDowell Mountains, and that's quickly trucking off to the east. So if you're getting some of this rain, it's not going to last very long, maybe a quick 5 or 10 minute shower, and then it moves on its merry way. We do have some snow in the high country extending along the rim back to the Flagstaff area, Williams and Flagstaff. Getting some of those big, fat, chunky snowflakes right now, as well as Heber, Overgard, and into the Show Low area. For the rest of this evening, the snow will continue for the high country off and on, and then eventually tapering off a little bit later on. Could see an additional inch or so, probably a little bit less than that. Between the snow bands, there has been quite a bit of melting. So mountain snow above 5,000 feet, slick roads out there tonight in the high country. Another chance for some rain in the valley by the end of this week, and then a big time warm up coming up in the 7-day forecast. That's coming up a little bit later on.
All right, we'll see you then, Chris. Thank you. A child remains in the hospital tonight after being pulled from a bathtub at an apartment complex in Phoenix. However, Phoenix police now say that that child is expected to survive. Phoenix police first responded to the area of 51st Avenue and Indian School just after about 3 p.m. today, after a 1-year-old girl was found unresponsive in the bathtub. Officers immediately began CPR, and Phoenix Fire then rushed the child to the hospital. The investigation remains active tonight.
Keeping you in the loop with everything happening in the West Valley, the leader of one of the fastest growing cities in Arizona holding his State of the City address tonight. Peoria Mayor Jason Beck outlining how city leaders are working to keep pace with all that growth happening there, including expanding their main water treatment plant, paving the way for new high-tech business development near that Taiwan semiconductor plant up north, and adding a police helicopter and a real-time crime center to keep residents safe.
I literally had conversations with them, and I explained to them, these are the pieces that we need for our public safety. So we went out and got money for a real-time crime center. We literally had 7 arrests last week from the real-time crime center. It launched on Monday. So thank you.
Yeah, we featured that real-time crime center here on 12 News a couple of weeks ago. So the city of Peoria has added about 100,000 residents since the year 2000, doubling in size, and much of the city's land is still undeveloped.
Unsolved violent crimes in the Native American communities will soon get more attention from the FBI. The U.S. Justice Department says that it will be launching temporary duty assignments across 10 states over the next 6 months. This includes work at the Phoenix field office. We're told the FBI will be working with the Bureau of Indian Affairs Missing and Murdered Unit, tribal authorities, and federal prosecutors in each of the states. It is a serious crash that sent dozens of high schoolers to the hospital. Yesterday, a school bus filled with teenagers flipped over after DPS says a driver crashed into it. Tonight, we're hearing from one of those students about this terrifying situation. 12 News journalist Chase Golightly continues to follow this story for us. And Chase, some of those students are still recovering.
Caribe, that's right. 2 teens and 2 adults are still in the hospital tonight. We also learned the driver, DPS says, is responsible for this incident, may have been impaired while behind the wheel.
A bus filled with Kingman High School students were taking a 4.5-hour drive to Tucson for a Future Business Leaders of America competition.
I was performing 2 events.
Georgina, speaking with our NBC affiliate in Tucson, was one of about 40 students on the bus. They were just a half-hour away when suddenly...
It just happened so fast.
She says this gray SUV crashed into the side of the bus, forcing it to lose control and crash.
When the bus moved, it just felt so quick and I fell on the ground.
Flipping on its side, all students and adults taken to the hospital for treatment. Most of them, like Georgina, suffered a few cuts and bruises. Others were seriously hurt, including one student who had his hand amputated.
It's devastating to hear.
Kingman Unified School District Superintendent Gretchen Dorner says 2 students and 2 adults remain in the hospital. Everyone else was released, but still recovering physically and emotionally from a day that changed their lives forever.
The students are shaken up clearly. It's very traumatizing to not only be in the accident, but to witness some of your peers or your adult chaperones being injured in the accident.
The driver of the SUV, according to DPS, is 30-year-old Nicholas Rodriguez. He's facing 3 felony charges of aggravated assault, serious physical injury. According to the interim complaint, Rodriguez was on his way to a job interview in Oro Valley when he tried to merge lanes to exit the I-10 and hit the bus. Troopers claim that suspect displayed signs of impairment. Rodriguez reportedly told authorities he smoked marijuana 2 days before the crash. The document also claims Rodriguez gave a saliva sample that tested positive for THC.
We have strong feelings of anger in some cases that this was a needless act. We have a safe bus driving down the road in a safe manner, and it didn't need to happen.
Rodriguez is being held on a $100,000 bond. I'm told most of the students have been reunited with their families and are back in Kingman. We're live in the newsroom. Chase Golightly, 12 News.
All right, Chase, thank you.